All right, this is exercise 4, and in this exercise, we're taking a look at what happens when we're already extending another class, but yet we still want to be able to have multiple threads running, or portion out some of our stuff to a background process. How do we do that? Well, the people at Sun were smart enough to understand that you might have a windowed application, or a window, or an applet that you may want to set, that you may want it to have do work in the background, and we can do that with the runnable interface. Essentially, we set up our applet or our window or our JFrame or whatever it is, the same way we normally would: public class, thread applet, extends JApplet, and we add implements runnable. Remember that we can implement any number of interfaces that we want. We just have to make sure that we write code for all of their methods. So in this case, we're going to implement the runnable interface. Now, the runnable interface only has one method. It is run. And so in that run method, again, just like with extending the thread class, we simply put in what we want to happen in that separate process. Just to go through everything on this applet, we're going to create a JLabel. We're going to create a thread called counter. We are going to create a variable called count. In our applet's initialize method, we're going to, we've defined our label, we're going to go ahead and create it. We're going to set it, and we're going to set the text on that to counter : space. We're going to add that to the display. We are going to go ahead and create the thread object that we previously defined above, and we're going to set it equal to this. What this is saying is, what am I creating a thread object of? What am I, when the thread needs to be processed, where am I going to find the code that implements that runnable interface and has that run method in it? And so by using this, we tell it, oh, come back to this class. Come back to the class that we're working in right now. And then we're going to call counter's start method. Again, that start method is from the thread class. And so when that start method gets called, we call the run method is called automatically by Java for us. And while that run method is executing, we repaint the screen. Now, what the repaint method does, repaint is called anytime the screen needs to be updated. And repaint simply calls the paint method. So what we're doing is we're making a call to the applet's repaint method, which then calls the applet's paint method. In this case, we've overridden that to increment count and display that on the screen. So what's happening here is we have told this class, we've told this applet, this custom applet that we've built, that you're going to implement threading by implementing the runnable interface. We've then created a thread object that says, okay, here I have a class set up to essentially handle thread events. So I want you to go ahead and create a thread object, and I want you to direct all communications by the system for this particular thread back to this class, because there's a run method here that's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. And we have that. We have that run method, and all it's doing is calling repaint. And repaint is a built-in method that essentially just calls the paint method every time the screen needs to be updated. If we look at how this applet works, and notice I've created an HTML file with a width of 500 and a height of 300. If we run this, and we look at this in the applet viewer, and you may not be able to see my applet viewer. Let me bring that in here. Okay, I've got my applet viewer in here, and you can see. Let me restart this. You'll be able to see this counter. Let me reload this. At any rate, you can see this counter and what it is doing and how it is counting up and how it is getting a piece of the processor for a period of time and then stopping.